Hey everybody, Justin Senior here, and this video is all about scaling. So scaling is definitely a challenge, and I think we have figured out a really great way to do it. I've been having great success with this since early 2015, and this is basically the idea of scaling rules. So it's just like it sounds, just like what it sounds. Basically, we are creating very strict and rigid rules that we will scale up and down to, and basically it will just be brainless work. And the reason I say brainless, I should more say emotionless. Scaling is definitely an emotional part of the business. One day you wake up and you just spent $100 and you have zero sales. You're feeling pretty bad. Or one day you spend $100 and you have 20 sales, feeling pretty good. I mean, there's obviously tons of ups and downs in this business. So I don't want anyone to be scaling emotionally. So we're creating these rules. Like I said, they're very rigid. It's just simply a chart, and you're going to basically look up your sales numbers based on your last 24 hours and just look at the chart. You don't need to even think. So there's different scaling rules that I've created here, and you're going to have access to this spreadsheet. There are scaling rules for 5, 7, 10, 15, and $20 margins. So that is your margins, not including Facebook ads, right? So that is your product margin. So that's what we're looking at in these next few sheets. Basically, every morning you're going to wake up, you're going to review your sales and your ad spend for the past 24 hours. Now, if you wanted to scale multiple times per day, you would just change that. Instead of every 24 hours, it would just be the last period that you check you check the scaling. So maybe you do it, maybe you have a hot product and you scale 5 times a day, or you scale once every 24 hours. It doesn't matter. These scaling rules definitely still apply. Most of the time we're talking about a 24-hour period, but it doesn't matter. It's just whatever your last scale period was. So you're going to review the chart based on your margin level. So if you have a $5 product margin, like if you're doing free plus shipping, you're going to go over to the $5 scaling rules, and you're just going to simply look up the amount you spent over the past 24 hours. And then you're going to look at the number of sales that you had, and then it's going to tell you a number to either scale up or scale down to. A quick note: you could also make your own scaling rules. Let's say you have some odd margins, maybe a $17 margin, or maybe you're doing a high ticket item, $40 margin. I have another part of this spreadsheet is to make your own, where you could just literally type in the margin, and everything will kind of automatically populate with formulas and stuff like that. So I think 5, 7, 10, 15, and 20 should cover most of the margins. If you're $1 off, that's okay. You could still use those rules. So let me just jump right into an example. Let's say you have a free plus shipping product and your margin is $5, right? Let's say it costs you, $5 or $4 to get it shipped, and you're charging $9 or $10. You got about a $5 margin. So we're going to go over and look at the $5 scaling rules. So again, there's $5, $7, 10, 15, 20. All these different sheets in this spreadsheet have different rules. But you're just simply going to go by your margin, and now on your every 24 hours you're looking for what you spent. So your budget, you're looking for the budget of what you spent that previous day. So let's say you spent $5 yesterday, right? So you're going to go into your ads report, you're going to see you said $5 yesterday, and now you're going to look at how many you sold. And it's as simple as just looking at this. So you spent $5, you sold 2, you're changing your budget to $10. That's it. The math behind that, well, you have 100% ROI on here. So you spent 5 and you have a $5 margin. So you spent $5 to sell 2. So you brought in $10 in revenue, and you spent 5. So that is returning 100%. Obviously, you're getting a $5 profit on that $5 spend. So you're going to want to obviously scale. Let's look at this one. 4. You spent $5 yesterday and you sold 4. So 4 times 5, you're bringing in $20 in revenue. That's a 300% ROI on your $5 spend. You're going to change the budget now to $20. So again, we want to do this as early as possible every day in the morning. We want to do it every 24 hours. If you're on the West Coast, you're going to want to wake up a little bit early to do this. Get this done as literally first thing in the morning. So let's say we sell 2 the first day off of $5. It's telling us to move our budget to $10. So now the next day, we're going to do this again. We wake up, we spent $10 yesterday, and now we're going to look at our sales. Let's say we sold 7. That's a great day, 250% ROI on this $5 margin. We're going to bump from 10 to 30. So, not all of these numbers will be on here. They'll be pretty much close enough. Again, you can create any rules here by, just changing numbers. But let's say we eventually get to spending $50 a day. You wake up in the morning, you look at what you spent yesterday, it was $50. You go to this $50 column and you're simply looking at the sales that you made and you're scaling here. No emotions, no thinking, it's just looking at a chart. These numbers are definitely based on my own risk tolerance. You may want to change them. Maybe you don't want to scale on only 40% ROI. Maybe you want to scale on 100% ROI. You could change the numbers based on your risk tolerance. But these have definitely worked for me. No one is getting rich off of $5 ad sets, so keep that in mind. We want to move up to 100, 125, $200 ad sets as quickly as possible. And you can see there are even some scenarios where I will lose money but keep the budget the same, and that's because these rules are prejudiced to wanting to scale up. I don't want to stick at $5. I don't want to stick at $20. I don't even care about making 100% ROI. I'd rather be at $150 making 50% ROI every day. That's better than 100% on $5. So, get to your daily budgets. Follow these very strictly, and before you know it, you could jump from 5 to 25 to 50 to 75 to 125 just in a matter of 4 or 5 scales. And we're not looking for super high ROIs. We just want to be moving up. So just another thing in terms of how do you read this block. So these are your minimum numbers. So if you hit at least, 0 doesn't count, but if you had 0 to 1 sales, this is basically saying 0 to 1 sales, you're going to keep it at 5. If you had at least 2, but not more than 4 sales, so 2 to 3, you're going to bump it to 10. If you had at least 4, but not more than 6 sales, so 4 to 5, you're going to put it to 20. In some of the bigger ranges over here, it would make more sense. So anywhere from 0 to 17, you're dropping it to 75. 17 to 27, you're keeping it at 100. 28 to 34, you're bumping it to 125, and anything 35 or higher, you're going to 150. Same thing here, 0 to 21, you're dropping to 100. 22 to 34, we're going to 125. We're keeping it at 125. 35 to 42, we're going up to 150. And 43 and up, we're going to 175. So if you sold 35, you'd be making 40% ROI on $124. That's a $50 margin. Or $50 profit. That's a pretty solid profit for one campaign. So don't worry about the ROI percentage. You want to be spending more. Spend more, have a lower ROI, and still profit more than you would over here on these low numbers. So do everything you can to get up to here, and basically that means following these scaling rules to a T. So again, $5, $7 margins. These are probably free plus shipping products. $10 maybe a T-shirt. $15 maybe a another T-shirt, maybe a hoodie. $20 hoodie or some other type of products with some real nice margins. And here's this sheet, make your own. You want to make it $17. Great. Do whatever you want. These formulas will update. You can see the numbers here changing when I go from 20 to 17. So put in your own number. This really works for you. But just remember that you want to get up to a higher budget number. That's where you're going to make your money. So here's the scaling rules. Now remember, every day, every morning, do this 7 days a week. No matter what, first thing, make it a habit. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you're checking this out on YouTube, take a look at the link below and join my free mastermind for sure. There's tons of great information, a couple other links down there. So enjoy. If you have any questions, don't hesitate, but get to scaling, all right? Thanks. Bye.